guys. Good evening, or I should say good morning. It has been a little bit of a long day today. We had the snow this weekend. I just got back from the office. I was doing some things. I've been away for a few weeks. So I said, let me just go in there and do a few things. And I had a podcast to do there. And then right after that podcast, which was right around, I don't know, probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I hung there till just about 10 or 15 minutes ago. Then I came back home because I knew I needed to do this podcast here. I always promise to do that before I go to sleep. I always promise to do that. So, do want to say thank you and welcome to all of you. I want to say thank you because right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at, you ready, ladies and gentlemen, for this? We are at 121,000 downloads, 200. That's close to 2,000 downloads just yesterday. So that is absolutely amazing. Definitely go to scan that QR code or go to believemeachieve.com. Like us, follow us, but do also go to TikTok and definitely follow me there because a lot of people like my stuff. I've got thousands of likes, but I need more people to follow me. They love the content, but follow me because what I'm trying to do is get my level to this 3,000 and beyond so I can actually stream these different shows on TikTok. So that'll be really cool. And even some more content like baking, etc. So again, whether you're here, ladies and gentlemen, at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., potato, it doesn't really matter. Just so glad that you are here with me right at this moment. Again, whether it's live or whether you're joining me on a rebroadcast, either way, it's great. I'm John C. Morley, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a podcast host. I'm a podcast coach. I'm a specialist in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and being more scalable and, of course, more profitable. Now, I typically work with companies that bring in 10 million or more, and they either know their story or they basically want to figure out their story. Okay. So that is the most important thing I want to share with you. I love to help people find that story. It's really, really cool. So, again, let's get started with this show. The master topic for the week, this is something we started doing in January, and it's a great thing. It gives you kind of perspective of the show for the week. And that is Chromacraft, Navigating the Colors of Success. And I really like this title for the week because we're diving into all these important colors which came right around the revolutionary time. And it caused some interesting things that had people really doing some amazing stuff. And I have to tell you that it's going to be pretty cool, what we're doing here. And so, let's get right into the master topic of the show, shall we? All right. So that is understanding the origin of colors and their meanings. But tonight's show, that was yesterday's show. Tonight's show is a little bit different because we're talking about the meanings, but really we're talking about something different. You know what that something different is? I'm going to share it with you. It's really special, actually. What we're talking about, that was yesterday's show. But what we're talking about tonight. Is everybody ready for it? Emerald Whispers and Sunshine Dreams, decoding the symbolism of yellow and green, right? Sunshine yellow and emerald green. And we're part of the Unlocking the Spectrum of Color, which is what we're in this week. You know that every color by now has a meaning, okay? I want to ask you, do you ever notice how colors make you feel? Do you ever notice that? So now that we know it has a meaning, it also has a feeling. That's right. It has a feeling. And that feeling is pretty cool. I will tell you that it is pretty important because, understanding our meaning is really, really cool. And so I want you to understand that when we think about colors, right? They have a potential to transform us and change our feelings. All right. So now that you know that a little bit, thinking about knowing that every color has a meaning and how colors make you feel. What does sunshine yellow stand for? What does a sunshine yellow mean or do for you? So remember, we're going to talk about the symbolization, the effects, the positivity, and the negativity. So the color yellow symbolizes happiness, optimism, positivity, and intellect. That's what it symbolizes. The effects of looking at being in a yellow environment is it clarifies things, it inspires us, it amuses us, and it energizes us. Of course, in the positive world, it births creativity, perception, mentality, and warmth. In the negative world, it stands for being a coward, being involved in deception, egotism, and caution. So the color of yellow has four different hex codes I'm going to share with you. And that's pound A98600 and pound DAB600, pound E9D700, and pound F8ED62. So that's what yellow stands for, okay? And so let's get into the meaning of emerald, right? Emerald is nothing more, ladies and gentlemen, than just green. So green symbolizes harmony, safety, growth, and health. That's the meaning of element. That's the symbolization. The effects of being around something green is it revitalizes us, balances us, relaxes us, encourages us. The positive characteristics of green is it's generous, hopeful, prosperity, and luck. The negative part of green is it's judgmental, envy, materialism, and inexperience. There are four hex codes for green. That's pound 003300, pound 006600, pound 009900, and pound 00B500. Now, there's 65 million colors, but I promise you, we're not going through every single one of them. We're going through the primary colors that are used on a daily basis by marketing agencies, by people that want to, shape their homes. And there are like some primary colors. Of course, there can always be different colors. And even when you go get a car, right, or any kind of vehicle, the colors that you can pick from are like a small, let's say, sample. Maybe there could be a dozen or less, right? And that's about what the primary colors are. But when you recognize a response and seeing or experiencing a color, you'll notice your attitude will change whenever you're around that particular color. Maybe you've been overwhelmed with nostalgia, or maybe starting a specific shade for just a moment will really change that. And maybe you've seen occurrences of a common human response, but the cause is far more complex. It's called color psychology, and it helps us to um, understand that human behavior is actually predicated by color. When we start to realize that, and we start to design and we start to market and we start to communicate with colors of intention, it's like our world changes. Okay, it's like our world changes, and I will tell you that that's important. Okay, that is very, very important. And why is it important? The reason it's important is because people want to feel good. They want to feel good every single day of their life, but they don't always know how to feel good. So, sometimes you're somewhere and something doesn't go right. Um, what I would just tell you is it's okay that it didn't go right, but let's take a look why it didn't go right. And I'll tell you that it doesn't often go right because people are so focused on other things, but not the present moment. Okay. They're focused on so many things, but not the present moment. And so a lot of times colors will baffle people. They will transform people. They might aggravate people. They might excite people. That's what colors do. So maybe this morning when you got up, um, the color of snow makes you feel a certain way, right? The color of snow makes you feel a certain way. And we're going to talk about that later on in the week. But just noticing different things. Some of the colors that we've already talked about is red. If you're making a presentation, I always tell people to wear a little bit of red. Okay. It's a red tie, not a whole red jacket, but just a little bit of red because too much red will come off as what? Like it won't come off very well. It'll come off in a rude way. So we don't want to do that. So it would be angry, dangerous, revenge, or aggression. And we don't want to do that. We want to subtly excite or arouse people's curiosity. We want to motivate people. We want to stimulate them. Okay. We want to create a desire. We want to show confidence. That's why it's good to have red on. Okay. That is really, really cool. And so people have been asking me for a while, John, what are you going to do to grow your TikTok? And, my team and I, we've been thinking about this for a while. So I want to let you know what we're going to do. We're only going to do this on TikTok, by the way. We're going to be giving away money. I'm not sure how much, but we're going to probably do it once a month. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to follow me, take a picture of that, and DM it to me. And then for everyone you do, I will enter your name into a drawing that at the end of the month, you'll get a chance to win an Amazon or a Visa gift card or something like that. I get thousands of people that love and like my videos, but they don't follow me right away. Pretty cool, right? So colors. Colors have the power to transform our lives. They have the power to transform our lives. Did you know that? They have the power to transform our lives. And you might not know why colors are so important. Colors go right into the nervous system. Okay? They go into the nervous system, and what they actually do is they excite the nervous system in different ways, some positively, some negatively, or let's say positive motivation and negative motivation, right? We can motivate you towards something or motivate you away from something. So I think that's the best thing to understand is that positivity comes from who you are as a person. And your perspective happens because of what you're currently doing in the world right now. Colors have a way of doing that. Now, we haven't gotten into talking about blue, but I will be talking about blue later on. You'll notice that the show has blue in it. That's not by accident. All right. Thinking about colors, thinking about how a color actually motivates you or demotivates you. Maybe you're at a restaurant and you're looking at a menu, and one restaurant had a menu that was black and white, and they had pictures of the food. But then you went to another restaurant and they had the titles, but then the food was actually in color. So you actually got to see and experience the food. What do some restaurants do? There was one that I went to where they actually didn't have a menu. They brought the food out to you and said, hey, this is what we have tonight. We have this, we have this. And they went through all the different pieces. There was one place I went to where they had different types of chops or meat. And they passed the chops around. They were all wrapped, but they passed them around the table so we all could experience the weight, the texture. I thought that was really, really cool. But sometimes people just don't think out of the box. So if you're somebody that is typically always, dictated by it's got to be black or white, it's got to be, within this color. This is why corporations have a color palette. Did you know that? And people have asked this before. Why do corporations have a color palette? Well, they have it because it has to do with branding and it has to do with the image Okay. It serves as the brand's foundation. And it's the first series of colors the consumer or client, prospective client, is going to see across the products and communications. So it's very important that we understand that and we understand color theory. Color theory is pretty amazing because it derives from color psychology, right? So, who has a red color? Coca Cola, right? Who has a green color? Android. And you notice that people don't flip around their colors. Who else has a red color? Tesla, Costco, ExxonMobil. Um, Verizon has a little bit of a red check in there for color, right? You've got Dow, you've got ADP, you've got Campbell's, you've got Target. You've got companies like Rite Aid, right? You got Hilton Garden Inn. You got Mohawk. Now they have these companies. I like what they do. They did little bits of red. These other companies just threw too much red in there. Dish, their whole logo's red. I think red has a tendency to overpower us. Lay's potato chips, just the center is red, just a little bit of red. Harris just has the letter A that's red. Granger in the logo, they just have the line going underneath it with a little bit of a graphic, very small red. So I think we have to learn how to use colors properly, and we have to know what they mean and not be caught off guard because we didn't know it meant that. Now, the question you're probably going to ask me is this. So, what does, because we're talking about yellow, what does yellow mean in other countries? So, it's different, okay? Yellow is a universal appeal, okay? We associate it with sunshine, so it's pretty welcoming, it's inviting. Daffodils, daisies, sunflowers. It's a spring type color, and it means new life, okay? What does green mean in other countries? So green in other countries, it's taken on a new meaning over the last 30, 40 years to increase consciousness of environmental concerns. Adopt green as your primary color would mean there's no coincidence that you actually are caring about the environment, make sure it's eco-friendly and keeping it, energy smart and things like that, so that we don't waste our precious resources. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic, well, not evening, morning, actually. And this is actually the Sunday show. So I know it's a little late, but we did get it out. I do want to tell you who I am. So I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and I am yes, podcast host and a podcast coach. I'm a specialist in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and being more scalable and, of course, more profitable. Now, I typically work with companies that bring in 10 million or more, and they either know the story or they want me to figure it out. But figure it out from the core, from the truth. That's what I do best. Have yourself a great rest of your night or a great rest of your morning, and know that colors could be the difference to whether your business is successful or potentially a flop. Have yourself a great evening, everyone, and be well, okay?